All right, recording now. So Tim finished developing the on-system TSN route segs route layer for 111, and it looks great. And what we need to do now is inform the Oracle system um, the of the date of the TSN poll upon which this particular route is now based. This set of TSN route segs are based, and it's funny that we just brought up the data model, so because that's actually pretty relevant here. I'm going to take advantage of this email that Chad just sent me. Okay, thank you for making that so handy, Chad. Um, and basically, what you've been working with, Tim, in the process of creating these blue segments is populating really this table, the TSN route segs table, with all roads measures and also ODOs and TSN routes.
Right.
But for every route there are as many records for there are as many TSN route seg records as there are route segments within the route. So the TSN routes is where attributes that are relevant to the route in its entirety go. And among these attributes are the year rec, month, day, um, upon which the RTE geom ID are built. So we never actually use RTE geom ID within the workflows in GeoMedia or in Oracle for that matter, but they are, a necessary portion of what you have to pump out to the Esri world to support the workflows out there. So the data needs to get built to support that, and this is how you do it. Um, in GeoMedia, you open a new data window. The data window that you open is TSN routes. So one record for every route, so a table of routes. Open that up. I'm just going to sort on route, and
You
then we
have
go to
the
111.
your record. Yep.
Now, currently it's set to 2015 05 12, like everything else. We want to set these now to 2016 um, 02, whatever it is.
Oh, one.
Okay, so easy to do. 02, 01.
Now I
This,
have a comment on this, but I'm gonna wait till you finish. I
okay,
want to let
sure.
you know that I have a comment.
Okay, comment away.
Okay. And I think this goes back to something that you had asked or inquired about in your email. You said about are we going to be updating 111 to 2016, which would make it inconsistent with the rest of it, and I said actually it would make it consistent. And what I meant by that is the fact that what's in GeoTest right now is a 2016 data set. Now, here's what's confusing. This is what I think that we need to maybe talk about briefly and kind of address.
Yeah.
So in times past, whenever we did an LRS update, we did something not dissimilar from what you just did. If we updated a route, we changed its route geom ID. And prior to the May 12th, 2015 TSN poll, we had an amalgamation of dates.
Yeah.
After that, when we gave that data set to Chico, and they sort of developed the on system based on the May 15th poll. we had kind of internally had a discussion and said, you know what we really ought to be doing, because it really makes geotest a pain to deal with when you have all of these dates all over the place like this.
Yeah.
What's much easier is if the entire system has the same date.
Yeah.
And so while it's true that these other records aren't being updated, so I completely agree that the last time they were touched was 2015, and I think that that's still a valuable thing to record somehow. From a geotest perspective, it would be useful to turn everything to the same date, because essentially this is going to be an upload of the 2016 poll. It's just that most of the routes haven't changed. So it's still based on the 2016 data, just only a couple routes have seen modification. So I'm not sure if we want to handle that here, or if we want to handle that, once it gets into ArcMap. It's really a simple matter once you're dealing with the actual shapefile that's going to get uploaded into GeoTest or a feature class, depending on what format we ended up using. Regardless, it's a simple matter to just do a
field calculator.
Replace. Yeah. Just do a data calculation and replace the entire column with the correct route geom ID. So even if you imported it this way, it's a simple matter to fix it, so long as it gets fixed on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the purpose of year, month, and date was to create a route geom ID, because that Geomedia didn't have that, right? So the purpose of that was this, and it to help with the GeoTest push. If we made, like in this specific example in 111, we made changes based on the February, right? February 12th. That would go. We can add that in the comments field. Actually, February 1st. That would be in the comments field, where everything we know in this, TSN routes is going to have the same year record, same year, month, and day. But in the comments field, we'll know which route we made updates to, because this year, month, and date is just for our GeoTest piece. So if we tamper with this, it's we're going to have a bunch of different dates, just floating around, and GeoTest is not going to know what to read, because they're going to change. So for the purpose of that, we make the modifications in the all roads instead of in the shapefile. That to me makes more sense, because once it's outside of Geomedia, we make modifications. We're not going to know how to trace back to what was changed, in the source data. So it makes sense to, in the comments column, make whatever distinction there is, whatever route we made changes to, in this case 111, based off of February 2nd, February 1st, 2016, and then we can export that out. We can keep a better record of that instead of putting in ArcMap, updating the data there, and then pushing it through. We're not going to have a way to trace that back in Geomedia. So, that's just my 2 cents, and like I said, it's used just for the route geom ID, which is in GeoTest. Outside of that, nobody cares what a route geom ID is, or how we're managing that, So
maybe
I just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah. No. Well, go ahead, Tim.
I'm confused. So, are you suggesting that we make all of the route geom ID, or make the year, month, day updated in Geomedia before we export it to ArcMap, or are you suggesting that we do essentially what we've done here and then just put in the comment field what the actual change was, and then when we export it to ArcMap, that way it's all captured in Geomedia, and then when we export it to ArcMap, we make all the dates consistent? I didn't get from that which one you meant.
Okay, so in this case, Route 111, okay, we know that, in Route 11, in this case, it was 2015 or previous, right? We
Right.
knew that we made changes to that, okay, to this route. So we have a right and a left alignment that's consistent with 2016, no longer 2015,
Right.
okay? But the year, record, month, and day, that's a route geom ID that GeoTest needs to read, which is 2015, 05, 12 instead of 2016, 02, 01. Because in GeoTest, it's not going to read 111. It's going to say, hey, what happened to this route, or what's going on? The whole purpose of these fields was to generate the geom ID so that it would read that. And if we have a consistent route geom ID, at least we don't have all these different iterations of routes. Now, to keep track of that in GeoMedia, we know that 111 is based off of 2016 February 1st, not 2015. In our comments field, we'd put that, okay, this is based off of 2016 February 1st, so that we know in GeoMedia, okay, 111, we know that changed. That's going to be based off our February poll, not 2015, which is a route geom ID. That's a different issue in GeoTest only. So, just to separate the two, right? Where we can, if we make the modifications in our ArcMap, let's say we push this out as 2016 to 01. When it comes out into ArcMap, it's going to be that specific date, 2016, 02, 01. And when we push that in GeoTest, it's not going to read that at all.
Actually, that'll read the entire.
And if we come back and if we say, okay, what route did change, how do we trace that back? We need to put that in the source data. So as it pushes out, we know how to loop back to the problems, if there's any, Now in this case, we know that all these routes should be 2016 February, 1st. I mean, in future maintenance wise, everything's going to be February 1st, 2016. And if we had some changes in there, that would go in the comments field. We know that this route changed. Still, we're going to have the same 2016, 02, 01 route geom ID for GeoTest to read, push out, and all that stuff. But we know how to trace back which route did we make modifications to, based off of whichever TSN date poll or month poll that we decide on. Because we're planning to do multiple polls throughout the year, right? So it might be 2016 February 1st, but in June we might have did another poll to Route 111. In the comments field, we know that it's to serve the purpose of GeoTest. Yes, that's a month, year, date, but we know that in June we did another poll. That would be in the comments field. So the geometry changed based off of that. So I mean that's one way we can trace back. The changes that we've made throughout throughout one cycle, 1 year cycle of our maintenance and updates and stuff. That's something.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, this is your guys' workflow, but obviously, but maybe I mean, I like where you're going, Keith, in the sense that are we going to? What we don't want to do is edit data in the ArcGIS environment and then put ourselves in a position where you can't trace where an edit occurred back in the GeoMedia world because it happened sort of post GeoMedia. But on the same token, I mean, what's occurring to me is that if we can evolve our conception, and by evolve I mean change our conception of what we mean by the data that we capture in these fields, to not being route geom ID, but instead to thinking of this information as capturing the date of the poll upon which the route was constructed, or last modified, and this that so what that does is it means that this does in fact keep an amalgamation of different dates for the different route and alignment combinations. What that would infer is that we then have to modify the workflow that exports data from GeoMedia into an Esri geodatabase, to manually enter the date portion of the geom ID that you want, or the RTE geom ID that you want to push on the way out of GeoMedia and into the Esri world. So what I'm imagining would allow you to keep track of which TSN pole any particular route was constructed upon. But then secondarily, and maybe I should just see if I can just open this export thing. It's not there. Well, the export workflow, it would be very easy to update the export workflow to include a point in the process where you no longer draw from this data to construct the route geom ID. Instead, you just type it in.
Okay, so So another suggestion is to, okay, I get what you're saying. So another suggestion is to export out on a, the year, month, and day will be construction or update of a route, right? So in this case, it's February 1st, 2016. But in the output, we can tell it to use as 2015 or 0512 route geom ID.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. That works too.
And then you get the best of both worlds. You know the pole upon. I mean, you know exactly what pole this route was based on. But then you can also construct a route ID with the route geom ID that has whatever is the most up to date date to kind of meet your most current standards of how you want to handle that stuff.
Yeah, that works. That would work too. Yeah, that works. That's a great idea. I guess we just need to distinguish the. Well, I guess where we're at. Well, the thing is, do we need year, month, and record date then?
Yeah, true. Yeah, you might not need date.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that just negates. I mean, everything we're trying. The purpose of like I said at the beginning, the purpose of creating those three attributes was to generate a geom ID. But if we can bypass that, and not even worry about that, we can already tell it, look, give it this route geom ID when it goes into the Esri world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't need those fields.
I thought the reason why you needed those fields was for the very reason why you made the point about why they shouldn't be changed in GeoMedia to be all one date, which is so that we could easily find and had a record of the date on which a specific route was based.
Right.
And if you get rid of them, you don't have that anymore, except for the comment field.
Right. The month and date was constructed to generate a route geom ID when it's on its way out to to Esri, right? That was the purpose of having those fields there. But if we can tell it on the way out, if we can tell it to use a specific route geom ID and not read those three fields to generate it, then that's the route geom ID is covered already, So the comments field will just serve a purpose as when, what modifications do we have, But I guess that's a different, I'm sure we can talk more about that. But the year, month, and date would serve, the way I see it, it would serve us on-system maintainers. What month did we, or year and date did we start off with? When we make an update. So maintenance, let's say next year, right, 2016, we know that everything came in as 2016 February 1st, and within that 2016 we might pull in June, and the comments field would serve our purpose of, what, in June this changed, but we know that it started as 2017 February 1st, I mean, it just, if there's a better way to do it, I mean, I'm completely up for that option or whatever the suggestion is. It's just, in this case, we know that 2015, in this example, we know that every route in here was 2015, May 12th. 2000 Route 111. Now we know that is 2016 February 1st because we decided to make it as current as possible, which is February 1st. So this would be a way to maintain it, and I hope that makes sense, that we started off as 2015, but now it's Route 111 is 2016, no longer 2015. But on the way out to Esri world, we can say everything is going to, RTE Geom ID is going to be 2015, 05, 12. If we can do that, that's
the way. Let me just show you the way you would do that.
Yeah.
Is instead what this is this Geo workspace is for exporting from GeoMedia to a file geo database, and this is the functional attribute that constructs the route geom ID. So, and what it's doing is it's pulling from year, month, day. So instead of having it do that, we can just say
take that out.
0160201.
Yep.
Blam.
And everything going out is going to be that month, year, month, and date. And that's perfectly fine.
So can't you just use like a max function to just say, give me the max year, max?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
You can use that. Yep. There are many ways to skin this.
So, to me, all of this is what I was originally suggesting, where we make the route geom ID change in ArcMap, only instead we're putting the route geom ID change in FME.
Yeah, well, in GeoMedia.
It's the exact
in GeoMedia, and then out to it. Yep. And
yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, Tim.
You're just changing where the translation's occurring, because you're still keeping the tabular data. You're still keeping the Oracle side data exactly the same.
Yeah.
That data isn't being changed until it's being exported. So it's exactly the same as what was being said before. That was what my suggestion was going to be. Was that we keep the date in the table the way that we're doing it. I've been using the comment field. I didn't get a chance to, but I was going to suggest that we use the comment field when we make these kinds of updates. I like to note the post-mile extent of the change if it was a portion of the route that could be defined easily that way. In the case of 111, it most definitely is. And I like to kind of just give a brief description, relinquished 195 to 111, something like that, with a rough post-mile extent of that particular change. Since the comment field would be exported out as well, then users who happen to look at the data would still be able to look at the comment field and be able to see what the extent of the changes are, even if the entire system happens to have the same route geom ID, which is what would be the easiest thing to manage from a web service standpoint.
Yeah, I think we married the two ideas together to make a good, to form a good solution. So it's pretty good.
Cool.
Yep.
So bottom line is we're going to keep just recording it sounds to me like what we're going to do here is exactly what I did. The purpose of the three fields
completely fine. Yep.
is
define the date of the TSN poll upon which the route is based.
Right. And the only other thing that I would suggest, which is what Keith had already said anyway, is to make sure that we have a clear but concise description in the comment field of what the change was.
Yeah. That works. That looks good.
And this is the comment field that would go to, part of what you guys were just talking about also made me think another thing we can do is just delete 195. We really should.
It will have to
no longer,
actually, because it's not
no longer there.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be, because again, these are just routes records. These two records here are a parent to. They have no children in the TSN route segs table.
Right. Yeah.
But for cleanliness' sake, it would be good to just delete those. And by the way, if there are child records in the TSN route segs table, it won't let you delete them. So that's a nice, just, I guess, validation, right? So highlighted them, delete. Ooh. Integrity constraint. It's in there.
Yeah.
It did its job. Okay, let's see what's going on. let's do this. I'm just gonna open up. So what we probably have here are TSN route segs records
I would check there, see if it's
that no longer link. They used to link to SHS at the all roads level. They used to link to SHS _195.
Yeah.
And that it's just not there to link to. That's why we didn't see it on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Nope. Nothing's linking.
Okay, 193.
Yep.
There we go. So there were two.
Yeah, 2 records. Yeah.
So I'm going to just delete these. I mean, they disappeared off the map. Do you guys understand why they disappeared off the map?
There's not a 195 for them to DynSeg onto anymore.
Exactly. Anyhow, delete. And now
Get rid of it. Yeah.
I can go. And yeah, truth is this is just sort of like house cleaning. I think if you left those records in there, it would be no problem.
Yeah.
There, now it deleted, no problem.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool. Well, again, I'm not sure if Chad's on the line anymore, but this is another example. One of the deliverables that I delivered with the plan was a data dictionary, and we effectively just changed the definition of what we're storing in that table, right? In the just gonna say no to that. In the lost my place. Sorry, guys. We just changed the definition of what we're storing within the dang it. I meant TSN routes, not routes, and now that's gonna take.
Yeah, TSN routes.
That's what I get for trying to move too fast. You know what? Let's just go this route.
I did successfully crash GeoMedia about 3 or 4 times yesterday doing that.
Good work.
Yeah. Apparently, it doesn't like when you try to update fields too quickly.
You'll get a sense of how to really make it crash soon. So we just effectively changed the definition of what we're storing in here in these 3 fields.
Yeah.
And I have a little data dictionary document. It's just this Excel file where I just list all the fields and type in what they mean. This is another thing that I'll change as part when I get the go ahead to spend some time.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
Is this thing still hung? No, it's not. Thank God. All right. One other thing that we could talk about is this. Tim has now seen firsthand the value of storing begin and end lat longs for every segment. We also could, at this point, make sure that those are populated for every record.
How come there are no counties on those records right there in the middle of your screen?
Like these guys? These are records that we just added over the course of the past few days.
So we probably just didn't.
Those that don't have the XY coordinates, those are usually new geometry or something.
Truth is, Truth is the county field is completely unnecessary. I could remove it.
Hmm.
It serves no useful purpose.
Yeah, especially for the on system. You know,
Yeah.
I can see for the the off system, but for the on system, you really don't need the county because we don't. You know, we're not saying it begins here and ends there, right? It's just a complete runs through multiple counties. We don't care where it begins, but
If you zoom to a particular record, like a particular record happens to have a problem, oftentimes you don't know where you're at. And
Right.
looking at the record, if it has the
Yeah.
county, that does give you at least a sense of where you're at, especially on a longer route that crosses many, many counties.
Well, that comes with the overhead of having to populate it. And if you're cool with that, I'll just leave it in there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I personally would rather like having more information than less. But yeah, I think that I'll just need to go back and populate it.
Okay, so you want me to leave it?
I think that leaving it is probably fine.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna hurt anything.
Yeah. I mean, truth is, if you don't populate it, it doesn't
you're gonna
affect the system in any way.
Yep.
Right.
And yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's just helpful, like Tim said. It'll be helpful, but I mean, as we enter data, we want to make sure that we populate that. You know, because we'll have a bunch of odometers that we don't know where. You know, I mean, we can select it, but you know, yeah, makes sense to populate it.
Okay. So shall we populate begin and end lat longs?
Sure.
All right. I need to reference an old document to the well, let's do it this way. There's a few ways. The most concise way to do this is to do an update. Actually, let's just do this the most concise way. It's like this: update attributes. We're going to update the Dyn seg of TSN route segs. And we're going to update the begin lat. And this is where I always get confused because the expression we want to use is x. Like basically what we're going to say is get the x coordinate of the start point of the Dyn seg segment, and then give it back to us in geographical lat long units. But of course, I can never remember whether lat is x or long is x. So let me do that research real quickly.
Latitude is your y.
Latitude's y? All right.
And longitude is x.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so you know what? Let's just say we want the y of the input geometry, but what we want is not just, we don't want the y of the entire geometry, because the truth is there's a y for every vertex.
Sure.
We want the y of the start point of the input geometry. So y of start point of input geometry. All right, the next thing is measure type. It's always true mesh, TRUEMEAS. And then unit of measure will be degree. And you know it's a valid input because it's saying it's going to return output type of a double, which is a number, type of number. So copy, I'm just control-C'ing that. Here, there. Okay, so we just put in this function to calculate the begin lat. Let's paste that in there. Control V and go with X.
Go endpoint, right?
For the begin long.
Oh yeah, the the begin long. Yeah, you want to X me up begin start point. Yeah.
Okay, and now end lat, Control V. This time, you're right, endpoint. Oops. Okay. End long. So we want X of endpoint. Okay, and bear in mind that what we're doing is going to apply to every single record in this layer, even the ones that already have lat long coordinates. So we are essentially recalculating the values that are going to go in there. And that's fine, assuming we're doing it right. And truth is, if we're doing it wrong, then we can read. I mean, the geometry is still there, which is fundamentally where this information is coming from. Making sense, guys?
Yep.
If you wanted to only do it to the records that don't have lat longs, you could write a query on top of this that does that. Or actually, what you could do is modify the attribute query of TSN routes. Anyhow, all right. Leaving this checked. All right. Here we go. You can see it saying features updated is growing. Just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if this works, we'd have to document it, or actually, put it in a workflow or something as a last. Yeah.
Yeah, I have this.
Yeah, we'll just put it in there as one of the steps to do.
Yeah.
Once geometry is digitized or whatever, or before pushing it out or whatever it is.
The reason this is taking a little longer because I did not uncheck this guy. So what it's doing is actually creating a way for it's recording information in the metadata and the modification log of the metadata to tell us to make it possible to revert what we just did.
Yeah.
Usually I uncheck this because I just don't like waiting that extra time. I'm going to check on what's going on here. This is my backdoor view to the data. Select star from TSN route segs where begin lat is null. No, I don't want that. Where route ID
See if it populated. There we go. Oh, let's see. It's all still.
Well, none of them are on the left.
Yeah, it's still running. It's not. You didn't write it yet.
I'm gonna. No, I want to keep that open. All right. Come on, GeoMedia. It's already done the work.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell because what we're looking at is just left alignment, and there are no left alignments in here.
Why are there no values on the right?
There we go.
I don't think there was any new data added to the right.
Yeah, there was when you and I were working on it. We didn't do this step.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember doing any of that kind of addition to the right. Well, there was on the 195 segment.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it.
And we made some corrections, I think, to some stuff downstream from there as well. Okay, good. So it worked. And let's just verify. I want to. All right, it's all there.
Oh, yep.
Those values look believable, right? And let's do the same thing on the right-hand side, which means we have to modify this query. I'm going to, just to make it faster, and begin lat is null. Oh, wait. I forgot to change.
Yeah, change the alignment.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
See, look at that, all that stuff. Anyhow, all right. Vector, update, attributes. You know what? Just maybe just for your kind of GeoMedia education, let me show you another way to do something, do the same thing. This approach is a little bit longer winded, but it might feel good. You know what? No, it doesn't. Forget it. Let's just do it. We'll do what I did. All right. All right. Update attributes. Done. Sake of that. Is that right, Tim? Lat is Y?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, done. So now when we look at these, they've got begin and end lat longs. Truth is you could just do that for the whole system. Just search for everything. Like you could just change this query to say, well, just show me where begin lat is null.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, is that I guess we can decide when we want to do the calculation. Do we do the calculation and then push it out into Esri, or do we do it as however we want to do it, as long as it's populated?
Yeah, well, I highly recommend that the result of that calculation be saved in Oracle. And again, Tim, the reason why is it'll be useful in workflows when you need to change underlying all roads route measures, and
Right.
and it gives you an anchor point for every begin and end location. Anyhow, so this is, let's just go ahead and do this calculation for everything since we're on it. And then we'll have everything up to date. Vector update.
Too bad you can't pause the drawing screen, huh? In GeoMedia, like ArcMap, let it run in the background so it won't.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You can do that sometimes, like with queries and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to press escape.
Yeah, don't do the query, but not for every. Yep.
All right, here we go. 33, right? Yeah. This will just take a second. All right. Anyhow, that's that.
Perfect. So we have updated lat longs for everything.
Yep. Okay, so we're done with 111, right?
What?
Oh, sorry. We are done with 111, right?
I believe so. Yes. I don't think there's anything. I mean, if you didn't see anything else that that called out to you, then I think we are.
Okay.
The only thing that the only thing that needs to be done is we need to update those. What's it called? Those counties, but we don't need to do that here.
Okay.
We can take care of that offline later.
All right. Exiting this geo workspace, and let's move on to 225. Okay, so to, let's see, remind everybody, especially myself, what Tim and I accomplished is, first of all, we made a conscious decision to ignore things at the TSN route segs level and just focus on getting the all roads straight. And then once we have the all roads dialed in, we'll go back and update the events, the TSN route segs events. So what we did toward dialing in the all roads is we identified exactly where 225 is relinquishing stuff. So this used to be part of 225. And as you can see, the view of SHS routes is the thicker line, and then the regular routes are the thinner ones. So we sliced this here and then assigned this, I believe, as uncalibrated for the moment.
For the moment, yeah.
And we did the same thing on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
We sliced here to find this as uncalibrated. So I'd say the next step is to just define all of this stuff as not state highway, but instead as uncalibrated.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest way to do that is to locatable, make it so that only a view of SHS routes are locatable, and select all those like this. And we'll use that same update tool to
Populate those.
to populate that all these as uncalibrated. So vector update attributes. So in this case, so you hopefully you noticed last time what we updated were queries. We have the option to update based on a select set. So because these are selected, we can say we want to update the selected view of SHS routes records. And then change their route type to uncalibrated. By the way, guys, I very recently added uncalibrated as a option to this route type drop-down list.
Okay.
My thinking on it is what I removed was DNC.
Mm-hmm.
So I removed DNC and added this. And again, my thinking is really it's more about workflow support. I mean, ultimately, you don't want to have any uncalibrated routes, but
Right.
it's just sort of a temporary holding place while a route is kind of being worked on.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, I'm unchecking this, being very careful that I'm doing everything right, double checking. Apply. All right, now I'm gonna reapply spatial filter. This is a
Basically, remove that from the SHN, from the TSN routes, right? So, yep.
well from the view of SHS routes.
From the view, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I reapplied that spatial filter, the point of that was to force it to reread this view.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it's no longer set as SHS route type within the All Roads network. So we can take one of two paths here. I guess what we should do, based on what I said at the beginning here, is we should get the all roads all dialed in. So let's do that. The next step is to calibrate. Let's calibrate SHS 225, because while we have while it has the right route type designation, it doesn't necessarily have the right measure values.
Measures.
Yeah.
Especially on the other end, it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's see here. How is this going to work? Is it going to... Where's the beginning and where's the end of this route?
The beginning is actually the left side there.
Okay.
Where you were at. That's the beginning of the route.
Okay.
And that's the end, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So given that, I assume this is the primary and this is the secondary?
Yep. Secondary, yep.
Yes.
Primary, secondary. Man, that is weird. But okay. All right, fine.
I think it's...
What was that?
I was going to say, I think it's, I don't know. I would guess that it was an east-west route, but maybe not.
Well, I mean, that's what it was. It stands to reason to ask what it is. And we have the luxury, because we're working in all roads right now, of not necessarily just going along with whatever TSN says.
Right.
Well,
I don't know. Which one was coded as primary and which one was coded as secondary in there? Curious.
Yeah.
That's primary. Yeah, that's what we thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
So the local road that it runs into there, that your mouse is currently on, would be the secondary ordinarily, because this is a north-south road. So are we going to change that to be secondary?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be based off of the all roads, business rules. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
business says it's south to north, right? It's never north to south or west to east. It's always
right.
east.
So in this case, what's going to happen is we're going to have the secondary run into the primary.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff happens, but I'm just confirming that that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Which would switch, it's bending my brain. Okay, yeah, whatever you guys want to do is fine.
I want to do what's consistent with the all roads.
Yep.
Well, okay, I can tell you what's consistent with the all roads is all roads is built based on automation. So
yeah,
it's just gonna. I mean, if we just did all this using the the bulk calibration routines in GeoMedia rather than interactive, I'm guessing what would happen is 225 would start here, go from here to here,
right,
and here to here.
Yep, there, yeah.
In all roads.
Yeah. In all roads, the environment, but in this case, that segment that's changed, we don't know what the route, that bottom portion might be Main Street, but that portion that runs south to north might be L Street. We don't know, right? So
Yeah.
based off of that, it would depend. If it's automated, it would depend on the business rule, right? So I mean, we can argue back and forth, but I'm just curious to see what that segment is named. Because based off because it was automated, right? Just say automatically assign these routes based off these rules, and it just generated that. Them, the carriageway according to that.
We could do it based on automation.
Okay.
You want to see? I mean, I've only shown you guys the interactive calibration approach. Let's do it based on bulk calibration.
Okay. Assuming this whole route is one name, right? That they're all on Broadway instead of, L Street and then Main Street.
I'm just talking about 225.
Okay. All right. Let's try that.
So, okay, this doesn't even have an LRS key right now. All right, so 225. And man, I mean, my mind is bent. Is this secondary or primary?
Should be
based off the on system TSN. That's
secondary.
Correct.
Well,
Yep,
but there's no such thing as secondary and on system TSN. There's just right and left.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. In this case, it would be left.
Yep.
Okay. And man, I want to call this primary from an all roads perspective. But
this kind of stuff was because there were these kinds of issues that I saw when I was fixing some of those errors. Where essentially what you're going to wind up with is the all roads running the opposite direction as the statewide odometer.
Yeah.
That's going to be the consequence.
Yeah.
And I saw some of that, and it does exactly what you're describing. It's kind of mind bending.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's keep it how it is. All right. Yeah. So let's start by we have to write it, and this is SHS primary. There is no secondary on this side. Okay, so so secondary, well, whatever. Let's write a query to isolate these suckers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say analysis. Maybe we already have one, actually. Yeah, we do. Turn this on. Something going on here. 225. Oh, no. 225. There we go. Now it's part of it. Okay. Okay, so the red lines are really actually two separate routes because one's primary, one's secondary. That we're
Adam, could you zoom into that secondary carriageway? That tail end, the very beginning there was highlighted in red. Is that that piece right there? Is that secondary or primary? Double click. Let's see what.
Secondary.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I saw it highlighted. I was just wondering if it was primary or not.
Yeah.
When yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to say, so we're going to do this the same exact way the GIC did it. We're going to say, instead of interactive calibration, calibration. And the LRS features in this case is the attribute query of view SHS routes, which is just these red guys. The model, LRS key, begin, measure, end measure, mile. Yep. Use a field. The field we're going to use is aura length. The units are miles. By compass direction, south to north, west to east. Constant gap distance. 0.001 miles. So basically increment by 0.001 miles at the gap.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Be interesting to see what it does. All right. Let's start down here. I imagine this is 0. And I am wrong.
That's actually the other tail end down there. That one there, right?
So
I stepped away for a second. What's going on?
We did the bolt calibration for 225. See if
Okay.
it automatically assigned it, measures.
yeah, we're seeing how basically we just went through the process, the same exact, quasi-automated process of calibrating as GIC did or would have done.
Right.
It's the exact same set of rules, and we're just seeing what the result actually is in this case. So for primary, so it starts here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Starts here.
Huh.
Goes there, and then.
Yeah.
So where did that end again? That ended at 0.72.
I think it picks up at the right there,
Here?
That little tail.
No. And then it goes from here.
Yeah. Yep.
So it ran the
Yep.
correct direction at the beginning of the route, but it's running backwards at the end of the route.
Yeah. So, well,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, it wouldn't run backwards at the end if this stuff was all one route, right? But it sees it as a gap from here to here, gap here to here, which makes sense now that I think about it, because you think of the XY axis. This is west. This is east. It's probably more, from its perspective, it's more west to east than it is south to north. Anyhow, I guess to address what you said earlier, Tim, like we should do whatever the business rule is. Strictly speaking, that's it. That's the business rule.
All right. And we can work with that. I mean, it is a little confusing, but the thing is that we shouldn't have to. It's not like we're going to be dealing with this all the time on every route or every update,
Yeah, it's an edge case.
And the all road doesn't have this problem, so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. What's next? Well, that's done. Now the hard part is going to be unscrambling the off-system portion of this little hornet's nest.
Yep.
So.
Well, there are three LRS keys. There's 3 different roads basically that we're dealing with.
Yeah. What are they?
What are they?
Yeah.
I don't have them memorized, but I can show you where they're at. The one that you have right there that you've already started to highlight.
Yeah.
Runs all the way down to the T, right there, and then it's cliff all the way up until you get to going all the way across to the other intersection, to the intersection where it becomes a new route right there, and then it becomes, I think it's Cabrillo. I think is
whatever this is
the route.
Yeah.
Oh, Castillo. Okay.
And now, I just have a question. Adam, the all roads at every intersection there's a split, right? Do we split? You know how?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, because that's something we'll have to.
You have to do.
I guess. Yeah, we have to, because it's based off of. Hopefully that doesn't go through a bunch of different intersections, but in this case it does. We'd have to.
That particular segment would have to be split at that intersection.
Yeah, and for all those.
Yeah, here.
Yep.
Yeah.
In here. Oh God.
Yeah. There's an automated split tool, right? I hope so.
Yeah.
That looks like poor geometry right there.
Yeah, that's.
Well, this is an opportunity to fix it.
Yeah.
What route is this, in theory?
Citas, which is the the name that road should carry.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's a vestigial piece, obviously.
Yeah.
That particular piece of geometry shouldn't be there.
There's a lot of splitting we're gonna have to do.
Oh, brother. Okay, there is a good way to do this. I just don't know what it is. I mean, I've done this kind of thing before.
Well, the good thing is that they still share the same LRS key, right? So, you know, we can just query it out and then split whatever. I mean, I'm sure I don't know too much about that Jumia splitting stuff, but at least it has one ID. We can just split it. Whatever touches this, I don't know, geometry, split it, whatever.
The key is going to be this. It's going to be this little thing. So,
okay.
I haven't used this. Whoa. Sorry, I haven't used this in years. Break linear. Specify that placement and editing commands using the break capability will break line features in 2 at the snap point of another feature. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. And then also there's, well, okay, so I guess the next step is just to get the geometry right. Like, let's not even trip on measures. Let's just get the geometry right. So I guess we can just query where it's uncalibrated.
Hey, Adam, before we split, since we know the LRS key, can we give it can we split them? In this case, we know there's 3 here, right? Couldn't we split them and then calibrate them and then give an LRS key and then go in and do all the little splitting? Because there's no gap in it, right? I don't know. It's just an idea. No, I don't know.
Yeah, we could. I mean, it's sort of. Yeah.
Instead of splitting it all and then figuring out, and then calibrating every segment.
Yeah, no, I see that. Start by just splitting at the places where the route names will change.
Right. Yeah.
So that when you do further splitting, those route names carry on. That's a good idea.
Right.
Let's do that.
And the calibration in this case would work. We can just split it and then calibrate one segment at a time, and then give it an LRS key, and then do multiple split. I don't know. You think that'll work?
I think.
I'm just running through the workflow. How it can be done, but I mean I'm sure there are different ways. But I'm just saying.
So my favorite
that way we don't have to do different calibrations for each segment. I don't know.
No, we don't. We won't have to do. I mean, we won't have to do different calibrations for every segment, ever.
Right, okay.
At least not like by calibrations. I assume you mean measures, like.
Right, yeah.
You do that to the whole route all at once.
Right.
I think a good first step is to simply break.
Just split it and then
at the locations where the route name will change, where the route ID will change. So let's just do that.
Okay.
So analysis. No, not analysis vector. I should really let you guys drive. Do you guys want to drive here? You know how to split?
Do it, Tim. Do it.
Tim.
I'm responding to. Yeah, hold on. Okay. Sure. So what am I doing?
You're gonna split that highlighted piece of section of road at the corner there. Yep.
At the corner. All right.
Keith and I can backseat drive at any time. Let us know.
All right, that's fine. So one thing I was dealing with yesterday was these little symbols.
Yeah.
I was not 100% sure on what the symbology meant.
Okay, let me give you.
I know it's attaching to a vertex. That particular symbol means that it's hitting a vertex.
Yeah, that's an endpoint glyph.
Well, and I mean, there is an endpoint there.
Yeah.
The route that's coming in from the left.
Yeah.
Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, it will, assuming that endpoint snaps to the vertex of the line you're actually splitting.
Right. And the thing is my mouse is covering the symbol, so I can't see the symbol most of the time.
You know what I often do when I'm splitting? I do my first click well off of the location that I'm actually going to split at. So like go south just a hair or a few hairs, like halfway down the screen. Oh, sorry.
Okay. I already clicked.
Yeah, escape out. Exit. Yeah, sure, whatever. All right, so all right, so step one is you have to, the split tool will not be initiatable until you until you select a feature to split. Okay. Now I do my first click well off of the location I'm going to split on, so that I can see the line I'm drawing that's going to define the split. So go ahead and click. All right, now without clicking, just move around the map and you can see that that line is showing you where you're going to split on the selected feature.
Right.
Okay, so
it's hard for me to see because my mouse cursor on my screen is covering the actual symbol, so I can't see what the symbol is underneath as it changes. I can see that it changes, but I can't see what it is unless I move quickly.
Yeah,
the delay will allow me to see it until the cursor on your end catches up to mine.
That's a go-to-meeting thing. I see.
Yep.
Should we switch to your machine?
I don't know. I mean, I'm perfectly fine doing it as long as you tell me I have the right symbol.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
When you hover,
you've got an endpoint left right now. Let's do this just to make absolutely sure you're comfortable, or that we are comfortable that it's snapping to the vertex there. I want you to go up without clicking. Go above to the Smart Snap settings and uncheck that endpoint snap. And now you can't snap to an endpoint, but you can snap to a midway vertex. And the symbol you guys are seeing now, if you can see the symbol, which
I saw it.
Okay, it's a slightly different symbol, which indicates the vertex in the middle of the line, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go ahead and click on that location, and then and then do one more, and now double right click. I want you to right click, and then perform split. Now it's worth noting here, all these options are there. Like if you actually have Kogo information about like where a split should be, based on some initial anchor point, everything you need to leverage that is right there. Why I'm done. So now,
hold on.
Right.
There's that.
Looks good.
Cool. Do the next thing on the next point, or the same thing.
Oh, on the other side.
Yeah. So what I would do, I would focus on just the locations where the street name is going to actually change. Yeah.
Right at the entrance. Hey Adam, you know how they split, the Smart Snap, how it had the vertice at the okay, if we were to split there, would it still split the geometry for that segment even though it highlighted or actually hovered that, the end vertice for that line?
Assuming the end vertex is on the same location as the vertex, I think it sure would.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering how the snapping or the Smart Snap works.
Yeah,
that makes okay. Yeah, because it's funny because you can highlight the geometry, but it still says there's an end vertice there, right? Where it should be a vertice within the line. I'm just trying to understand the GeoMedia, concept. But.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, it's looking for Smart Snap locations, based on the locatable layers.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay.
So in this case, you don't have to actually do a split.
Right. That's what I discovered. If you have two independent alignments basically coming together, each one, of course, is going to be its own segment. So they already are terminating at the inter.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I guess that was all, right?
Yeah.
Guess what?
That was all the everything that we need to do.
Yeah, those are the two intersections where the routes change. Or yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. This is Castillo, right? Running kind of from the lower right toward the upper left.
Yeah.
Let's recalibrate Castillo.
Yeah.
So I think
The right side will be primary. Well, yeah, there's a secondary and primary, right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
what we
we
want to do.
Question is this east-west or north-south route?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna try to figure out next. Just go to geometry properties or something.
Yeah, zoom out just a hair. What? Okay, yeah, that's more than enough. And
Looks like it runs at a good 45-degree angle.
yeah,
Yeah,
make it just as difficult as possible. What I would do is I would just verify whether or not Castillo ends
Click
at
on
the
that
freeway or whether it
Yeah.
continues afterward, because that's going to affect things.
Yeah.
I think it continues.
Ugh,
Oh yeah, it does.
damn.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to do a query on that
Yeah.
one.
So what I would do is I would update that. No, I would create a query of routes where route name is Castillo.
hmm Just grab that route. Route ID. Yeah.
And then change which query? This one? Well, no. Go to,
I think you'll probably have to write a new one, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you will.
all right. Well, let's do it. This is where I require direction.
You're making an attribute query. Keith, I'll let you provide direction. You got this?
Was that? Yeah, LRS edit.
In LRS routes, right?
Yep. There you go. Go to filter, or you can just write it out if you want.
I don't know the.
Hey guys, I'll be back in a minute.
The code.
LRS key. Yep.
Equals.
Single quote. Yeah. There you go. You got it. Just paste.
I didn't paste it. I did.
Oh, it didn't paste.
There it goes.
There we go.
I think I was just going too fast for it.
Yeah, it's and I think that.
Oh, that should do it, right?
Yeah, that should do it. You should highlight, grab that whole segment. Let's see. I think because you had the data window. Go ahead. You
got no records.
There's nothing. You don't have any records. Go because you grabbed the street name, not the LRS key. You get what I'm saying?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So I want to
remember when you copied? Yeah, when you
table.
copied. Yeah, go ahead. You can just X that. Yeah.
Is the correct X? I don't want to X the wrong thing.
Yep. That's the correct one.
All right.
Yeah. Go back to the query. Yeah. You can click on the geometry and then just grab the LRS key from there, and then just replace that. That should work. Okay. You know how
this is what I have grabbed.
No. That's the pre. The
bottom
one. There we go. That's
right. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. And just replace that. You should be fine. Just go back to queries, properties.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep. Just replace that. Yep. It should work now. Yep. And there we go. How long does that run? Let's see. Oh yeah.
Is there an easy way to find that out?
Yeah. You can just fit by legend. Just right click on the layer. That'll work too. Yeah, that's fine. That's completely fine. You just want to see how if it's running, all the way through to the next, I'm just wondering how much the length we're gonna have to calibrate. I think it's gonna start on the southern portion, but I mean, like we saw earlier, it was an automated process, right? So I can go either or,
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, go ahead and click on the geometry in the southern part. Yeah, let's see what that measure is. That'll tell us. Yeah, just double click on it or something. See what the AR measure is.
2.284, so that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Which means that this up here is the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's probably the beginning. Yep, that's the beginning.
0.
Okay, so we're gonna have to calibrate it. Yep, that way down. You know what? Wow.
Hey guys, that's good news. What you just learned.
Is it?
Yeah, because it means you only have to everything that. Well, I want to say everything that's north of the freeway is you can just leave it alone. You only have to.
You have to calibrate that little segment that touches the 225 and that piece that we, just uncalibrated. We're gonna have to add 0.001 to it, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. Interactive. Do it.
Is that the one we're going to be using?
Yep. You can zoom into that area right there, Tim, if you want, just so we can.
We're going to be doing that.
Yeah, but you know what I would do first, Tim, is update the.
LRSK.
Well, no, actually, you don't have to.
No, you don't have to because that can be generated after.
Well, do we need to add this little segment to it first?
You actually don't. That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say, Tim. But the truth is interactive calibration gives you a way to do that. So in a faster, easier way. So
yeah, it'll select different.
Right
it'll. Yeah.
That's all I'm trying.
That's fine.
But you should zoom in to that southern area where you're actually going to be operating.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it should give us an option to choose either 225 or Castillo or whatever we want, right? In the interactive calibration, and then we can just choose Castillo instead of 225. I mean, I hope yeah.
Well, this portion right here is still has a 225 LRS key.
Don't worry, that's okay.
Yeah, in the interactive calibration, you should be able to select that.
So. You have, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Try the interactive calibration operation again. Let's see what. Yep. Yeah, I just remember that when Adam mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, that's right. We can choose which LRSK we wanted to. Okay.
So we don't want to start at 0. But the problem is if we start with the begin measure of the first selected segment, we need to be careful as to which segment we start with. So I guess, are we going to start with this segment up here?
Yeah. It's going to be that little that little piece that's in the middle of the both carriageways.
This? The problem is
no,
we choose
up north.
Here?
Right, yeah, you know where? Yeah. Right there. Yeah. There.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot that it gets cut right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess
let's try it. If it's wrong, we'll just delete it. Let's zoom in there a little bit more. Let's see.
It looks like actually it's going all the way across.
Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like it's
There's the first segment. So do I shift click here?
Okay, I'm going to stop you because you might mess yourself up. So the segment that you just selected.
Yes.
is already properly calibrated. You don't want to change.
Correct.
You don't want to change it.
Right.
And
But we
if
don't know. Go ahead.
if you were to complete this workflow, you would be changing it.
Can't we put the end measure of that to start this? That little segment that Tim has his mouse cursor over.
No.
So that's the whole reason why I was selecting it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be able to bring in
Right.
the
I
measures.
And the truth is, you have to just know what is going to be your starting measure on your new thing. You're gonna
Right.
So just
double
go
click on that geometry, and the end measure should be the beginning of the right.
So 2.089.
Yeah. Oh wait.
And that's going to be right here.
Yep.
It's going to give me an opportunity to.
Oh, okay. Now you're using attribute query of routes as the thing that you want to interactively calibrate.
I guess I could just change it to routes.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, you have to because the first couple segments aren't part of the query.
Where's that?
Yeah.
So shift click.
I think that you missed a configuration, the length configuration. Escape out of this. There we go. Okay, see where it says use a field value for segment length?
Oh, it was grayed out, so I didn't see it, but I didn't. Yeah, I guess I could have checked the box. So we want to use that.
Yep.
And this we want to use miles.
Yep.
And now we're good, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, am I clicking or shift clicking?
Actually, you don't.
Clicking.
Whatever. Yeah. And I think the truth is, you can go all the way to the end, and it'll just trace the whole thing. I think. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Cool.
Andy.
Perfect.
Now you can right click.
And run.
Yep.
There we go.
What do we want? I think that's
primary. Yeah, that's right.
We actually want all of them because the thing is that this right here was secondary.
No. The secondary is going to be the other one, the one on the other side.
No, what I'm saying is when this was 225, this little segment was 225 secondary. That's why I think it's showing up.
Yep.
But this is 225 primary.
Right.
So.
But you can choose Castillo primary, but because it's
this is the one that that's the one
that
I want as my key.
Yep.
As my PS.
Okay.
Wait. Don't make sure the measure. Yeah, there we go. What was it? 2.089 or something.
So bear in mind,
So if I make this blank, will it auto-populate it?
Press recalculate end.
Oh. Okay.
But remember, this is all roads. This is a gap. This is the beginning after a gap.
Yeah. There we go.
Excellent. I think you got it.
I'm glad we have this in recording.
So there you go.
Now you got to deal with the secondary little portion.
Is there a secondary on this?
Right here.
Route? Probably not, huh?
Oh, I don't have any idea.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. I'm just.
It's worth checking.
Yeah, you can run that and just the same attribute query and then just change the carriage flag.
Well,
but
we're probably going to be
you can
creating a new one. If there's no secondary,
Yeah.
this will be this will be a
Yeah,
brand
that's
new
probably
key.
correct. Yep, that's right.
All right.
It doesn't look like a secondary.
So that's going to be super easy. I wouldn't even bother using the tools. I would just change the attributes.
Yeah.
So you're
Well, it
suggesting
depends.
that we just
Yeah,
go
go
in
ahead, double
here.
click on. Hold on.
This is still going to have to be recalculated.
Yeah, because it's reversed, right? Because 225 ran the other way.
Yeah, but it's only one segment. It's 0 and it ends at the aura length, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's right, Chad.
So 0 to 0.038.
038.
There we go. Yep. So 0. Yep. Yep. Pre. You want to change the LS key pre?
The carriage flag is primary there.
No, it's not. This is the secondary side.
Yeah. You're right about that, Tim. So you need to make the attributes reflect that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
We can change the uncalibrated to, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
This needs to be,
Should be a street.
Street.
okay.
99%.
No, that's not what it's supposed to be. It bounced up just as I clicked.
Yeah.
So is there a way, if I start typing here, can I, or do I have to manually?
I think you can type of at least the first letter. Yeah. It's because you're working through a GoToMeeting session, and I'm also RDP'd into your network into another computer. So going through many layers of.
So would this just be Castillo Street? Is that all I would put here?
Yeah, truth is the whole point of these sort of separated out attributes in my mind is to create the component parts to create an LRS key.
Yeah.
You've already done that.
Tim,
Right.
put
You already have the LS key, so.
and you spelled Castillo wrong.
Yeah, Castillo.
And you got to put suffix in.
It missed my S.
And the pre would be, SB, whatever. SB.
Yes, I don't have any. I don't know what the pre is. So it's basically just
Yeah.
this.
There we go.
Yeah,
That works. Yep.
Hey,
Is that
Tim,
correct? Yes, sir.
the street name doesn't have ST in it. The ST, I believe, goes in the
Should be
suffix.
just, it's going to go in the suffix. So just, there we go. And then, there we go. You got it.
Change the route county too.
Yeah, perfect.
What's that?
Route county says San Bernardino.
Oh, yeah, it should have been Santa Barbara. I don't know how that happened.
You clicked on it.
I must have.
And then carriage flag. Yeah.
Everybody quick, tackle Tim.
Yeah, I told you we could backseat drive Tim all day long.
Well, then I vote next time we make Chad drive, and then open up the peanut gallery. All right, so it's look good.
It does.
All right.
No, the pull down carriage flag should be secondary.
Yeah, secondary.
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
Yep. Secondary.
I was looking for that earlier. And I missed it. It's the first time I think I've dealt with a local system road.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything looks good.
Well, normally it's pretty easy to fix. So if I missed something just now, I can go back into it. So
even if you missed it, when you click back on the geometry, you can go in and make the modifications.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Should the calibration code be cleared out, or is that good the way it is?
The calibration code serves no useful purpose. It doesn't matter. In fact, I'd be perfectly happy to just drop it from the database entirely.
Yeah, it would cause confusion or actually questions,
Okay,
But,
want me to get rid of it?
Yeah, I mean, what was the purpose of it in the beginning? I mean, just wondering.
It was a way for GIC to communicate with us about why a DNC road is DNC.
Okay. Well, we need that for the next coming project, I guess.
No, you don't.
And if we don't need it, I don't know. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, I would say it's candidate for deletion because, yeah, we won't have DNCs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I would do now is update your attribute query to look at Cliff. Bear in mind too that it's possible that Cliff goes beyond the spatial filter.
It does.
Yeah.
You didn't put the primary or secondary in there either. So
I noticed that.
yeah.
My hope is that it would produce the entire thing if I did it that way, right? Oh, it's because LRS key. LRS key
Well, if you went,
find nothing.
that would work if you went LRS_key_pre, but
I see.
in this case you want to be precise, right? So.
Or use a like operator and a wildcard.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So when I clicked on this segment right here, it was about a mile into the route, and I'm pretty sure that our spatial filter. See, we're a mile into the route here.
Yeah, let's just zoom out a little bit.
Well, I was just going to scroll over.
Oh, there we go.
Well, there's our mile right there, I guess.
Yeah.
See if it's zero.
Probably.
Yeah.
Confirm.
Good news.
Yep. Perfect.
So that's nice. Just means it's just an extension.
Right. So all this stuff is good. Except I don't have anything selected right now, right? I had to have something selected? No, this is where it's going to let me select it.
Yeah.
There we go. So I'm going to have to zoom in and then scroll along because this has got some primaries.
It'll be interesting. It would be interesting to just go straight to the end of the route and just see if it traces what we think is primary or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool. This would be a good experiment.
I wish that GeoMedia had like a zoom to previous extent.
It does.
You can, but it's, you're gonna have to go to, what is it? I think it's in.
Yeah, that here. I'll drive just for drop that down.
Yeah, there we go.
Press
Drop
the drop down
down.
right
Drop
next to
down.
that.
The
I'm
arrow
not holding
right
the mouse.
next to it.
Okay, here I
Go
go.
for it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it used
No,
to have zoom to previous extent.
Yeah, it's in the, I think, home or analysis, under the, one of those. There we go, the zoom to in the bottom, at the extent.
Where?
To the right, the menu. Yeah, keep going to the right. Yeah, keep going. Where it says fit.
3/4 of the way across.
Yeah, it says
There
zoom
you go.
to, underneath the zoom to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there the previous or something.
Yeah,
there
previous.
Okay.
Oh, Alt.
Yeah.
Alt 5 too.
Yeah.
Alt F5.
Yep, that'll work too. It works, huh?
So I guess I'm gonna have to go back to LRS. I already did this. This is what I didn't want to have to do. Is it still holding my previous one? I don't think so.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
So
I guess
that's
whenever you zoom, it doesn't hold the
Yeah, it's
the
not quite as
calibration function.
stable as ArcMap in that way. Like when you select something in ArcMap, that the fact that something is selected is actually recorded as a database record in a
Mhm.
table in hard memory. And in
Okay.
GeoMedia, it's more a RAM thing. Like it remembers.
It's got the segment selected.
Funny, it's got it selected.
Yeah, it's selected. It's not. It's selected with the
It's not
select
in the
tool, not with the interactive
right, right.
calibration tool.
Right. Okay.
So if I select that there,
Yeah, and then move it.
if I click on the
Okay,
pan,
you're good. You're good. And now press escape.
So
Press escape. Don't press the select tool. Press escape. All right, cool. So what you just did is you just went back to your previous command mode.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it didn't.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Well,
the
it
secondary
did, but-
alignment.
Yeah.
It didn't select the correct alignment. Okay.
So you're gonna have to be a little bit more choosy. You're gonna have to be more specific about what you want. Oh, you know why?
Alright, so
It's you see why? It's because the Oh no. It's
No.
Yeah.
You have to individually select it. Yeah.
You're just gonna have to do it individually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
alright, all good.
Yeah. If we did all our key left and right, I'm sure we can, single them out using a query. But that's too much work.
Another thing to consider. Well, yeah.
Just an idea, but that's
All the splitting.
a long way around it. Yeah, that'll work too.
So you have the option to just type in what you want right there. Primary.
_P, and then that should work.
Yeah.
Do we know the?
Well, this right here is where the previous segment ended. This is an extension of the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need the beginning measure of that, but.
Yeah, I didn't check.
Yeah, we should have got that first. Yeah, we should have got that first.
You know what? It doesn't really matter. You're going to have to recalculate the measures along here anyway because you're going to be doing a bunch of splitting.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it would help. Well.
All you really just did is apply the LRS key.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, I have a question. You know how here we're going to be doing multiple splits? If we already calibrated the route and then we do the splits,
Mm-hmm.
those areas where we have a split should have the same measure value, right? When we split. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like creating, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The reality of the way GeoMedia will behave is that if the begin measure and end measure is defined, when you create a split, the two new segments will inherit the old begin and end measures, irrespective of the fact that they've just had their geometry.
Right.
Hey, Jim just dropped his call, so he has to call back in.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll have to run through the whole process anyways again.
Because he's controlling the board, right?
Oh, well, I can too.
Oh, okay, you got it now. Okay.
All right, so that's a workflow. Okay, all right.
So, I mean, again, what we just did, it wasn't really calibration. We used the interactive calibration tool to apply the LRS key.
LRS key for, yeah.
But the truth is the calibration we applied is invalid. It's not. We're gonna have to do it again.
Right. Yeah. Once we split it, then we do an actual calibration.
Yeah. So maybe as a easy next step, let's. Oops. You're back.
I'm back. It was the weirdest thing. It just suddenly gave me a busy signal for no apparent reason.
Huh.
We're making the secondary now?
Yeah. I'm doing it the easy way, though.
As opposed to the hard way? Was I doing it the hard way?
I think so, in retrospect. All I'm doing is, it's just updating an attribute.
Yeah, it's still got old data in there, though, I'm noticing. Like all the 225 stuff.
That's okay. At least for the short term. What I'm going to be tempted to do is to update all those attributes all at once with the update attributes command. All right. Okay, so I would say in the interest of efficiency, let's accomplish the same thing with this guy. Just get the LRS key applied correctly. And we'll worry about the measures, the workflows for the measures afterward. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Go for it, Tim, or whoever. You know what? I'm going to take Tim off the hot seat and put Keith on it. No, I don't want to make you the presenter. I just want to give my keyboard and mouse. All right, Keith, you're up. Keith? Did we lose Keith too?
He looks like he's on. I don't know if we lost him or not.
Huh. I think we did. All right, well. Let's update LRS keys on this guy. You want to go for it, Tim? I'll give you back control. Oh, looks like you still have control. Look at that.
Do I?
Yeah, I think so. Try. Yeah.
All right. So, do you want me to make this guy Las Positas?
Yeah.
What you're asking?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, this one's just going to start from 0. We're going to have to recalibrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Although, I think there's 2 ways to do this, now that I've seen how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We could calibrate the lower segment up until 225 from 0 to whatever it says it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what that final measure is, and then calibrate it from here up, although it looks like it goes outside our spatial filter.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
So first let's do the lower portion, then we're going to have to figure out how we're going to handle the upper portion that's outside the spatial filter.
Okay.
Let's change the query. And before we change the query, let's find out what we need to change the query to. What's up?
Oh, I expected right. It's not turning green because of nothing.
It used to be part of 225.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it green.
Yeah, that's right.
Now here's what I'm going to do. Well, first I'm gonna have it start at 0, but No, we already know that it's probably not going to work. I was thinking that I could have it just click at the beginning and click at the end and see what it does, but I think we already know that it's a gamble. It may or may not give us the correct alignments.
Yeah.
So. That looks like everything.
Yeah. Again, also remember, Tim, I think you're. It's fine that you're using the interactive calibration tool right now.
Yes.
But the only valuable thing you're going to be able to do at this point is assign the LRS key.
Okay. Because of the fact that we still are going to have to recalibrate all the new tiny segments we're going to make in a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Since that's the case, then I guess we don't even need to worry about recalibrating the northern portion yet.
That's right.
Right?
That's correct.
Why is it? Am I in cap lock? No, I'm not in cap lock.
It must be a GoToMeeting thing. Here, I'll do it.
For some reason, I'm shift clicking my S and it's giving me a lowercase instead of a capital.
There you go. Here, I'll get this one for you.
Here, go ahead and click on it. Let me. I was gonna say I have it there. Well, I guess it's actually saved on your computer, not mine. What am I thinking? I'm thinking fourth dimensionally.
That's right. You know what else we might do? Let's just get rid of this. Can we do that? Is that allowed?
What's that?
Can we just get rid of this segment, this little straggler thing?
Yeah,
the geometry. Let's check the nape quick. I don't know.
I suspect that is vestigial geometry that needs to be deleted.
All right,
Yeah.
do it.
Well, let's look at the. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you can look at the aerial imagery, but I'm pretty confident that that's going to be a vestigial piece that is going to need to be removed.
We just want to make sure that it's it's legit to remove. Might be a little spur or a straggler somewhere or different. I don't know.
Vestigial is a really good word. Like a medical term. All right. I say get rid of it.
Yep.
Want to do it, Tim? We lost you for a second there, Keith.
What's that?
We lost you for a second.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Huh.
Yep.
So if I do that,
Yep.
all right.
It will be blasted.
Are you sure? Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, one less mileage for us, folks.
Yeah, see, Chad, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, there's like a bajillion little, going to be like a whole bunch of little changes just working on these couple of simple routes. We're affecting the all roads all over the place.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If we end up doing a straight up list of LRS keys, it's going to get really long really fast.
Well, the easy part is running a LRS edit query, except for the ones you deleted, like that one.
Right. Can't do that. And the thing is, though, is that one had the exact same LRS key as the road that we just created.
Or you just pull DynSeg their data, and everything that doesn't DynSeg, they know they need to look at.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Wait, well, if we want to share that with them instead, I don't know.
That's QA/QC check. You DynSeg and fix.
Yep. You won't know what's wrong till you DynSeg, right?
Yeah, and if there's a problem, what you do is you look at the preserved geometry that you have and look at where it's intended to be
Hmm.
and figure out why it isn't there anymore.
That's the only way we'll know what's wrong with the system, right? So far, everything looks good until we start, doing these stuff. Yep.
So, okay. So I was, before Keith disappeared, and maybe he's about to disappear again, but I was going to say that maybe he should take over for a little bit, give Tim a break.
Mm.
You ready to get roasted, Keith?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
How many people's in the back seat?
At least 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. I just Xed everyone out. There's the mute button.
I get some people from the other office to get on the phone.
Yeah. I
Oh, no, you don't want to
staff on the phone.
I'm going to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back.
grab control or.
So, Keith, I think the next step is, have we already gotten the LRS key right on the secondary for Las Positas? I forget.
Don't know. Hold on. Do I have control?
Yeah. Yes, you. I think so. Try. Yes,
Nope.
you do.
Oh, now I do. Let me turn this off.
Yeah. First things first.
Take forever to draw. Yeah. Is it not working? The screen is frozen on my end. Can you guys see the mouse moving?
Is it?
Oh.
How about now?
Okay.
You're not able to move it?
I don't. Yeah, I don't have. I'm unable to move anything. Let's see. You guys see it?
Here, try now.
Okay,
There you go.
here we go. It's just Tim has control. What is going on?
Here, let me take control away from Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Try now.
Okay, I have control. That's what it is. Okay. There we go. All right, so let's see. Let's zoom out. So the question was, did we generate an LRS key for this yet? We'll find out right now.
Yep.
Yep. It's quite slow. Okay, let's see how many segments there are. Was it calibrated already?
No.
No?
But before we can calibrate, we have to split.
Yeah. We'll worry about that later. I just want to make sure that it looks like we have, let me zoom into here. I think we're going to have 2 segments of secondaries, but I don't know.
Yeah, looks right to me.
I have to double check. Yeah.
Hey, Keith, I don't know whether the other segment got the LRS key updated on it, though.
Which one? The
one you're hovering over? I would check that one as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna. Let me go to the full extent of the route. Okay. Wow, so it passes. Okay. I wonder if how long this route is, because it looks like it's going. It's
It's going past the filter for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, but we'll just worry about this since this is the new geometry. Let's get in there. Double check on. Yep.
You know what? We can get all that
You
stuff
probably don't. What was that?
all at once later.
Oh, sorry. What was that you were saying?
We can do all of that all at once later.
Okay.
The important thing is we have the LRS key dialed in.
Yep. Okay. All right. So. All right. So what do we do next? Split. Is that right?
I think so. Um,
5 segments.
yeah, I guess let's do this. I'm gonna drive.
Okay.
I have an idea for an efficient way to split in this case.
Okay.
There's lots of ways to split stuff, as you might imagine. I'm gonna do something though that I think is that might work well. So I'm gonna say that this. I'm going to tell GeoMedia that this attribute query is the quote unquote the layer that we're splitting. That way we don't inadvertently split roads that are not part of the green layer.
Okay.
And I'm going to split them based on geometry that's gray. Or maybe I'll do this. I'll say analysis. I'm going to do a spatial query to isolate other roads that touch the green road. So show me routes that that touch attribute query routes. And it's going to come across a spatial query of LRS routes and blah, 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 blah. All right. Oh, dang it. I was hoping it wouldn't touch. Yeah, right. It's touching itself. And I want to uninclude. Well, all right. Let's do this. You don't need that anymore. So it's fair to say, I'm going to enhance this a little bit so it's clear that this is what we're operating on. Okay, I'm going to split this. I'm going to press the split button. I've selected it so it knows this is what I'm splitting. Press the split button. With this, you draw a line to define where you're going to split. With this, you draw a point to define where you're going to split. With this, you draw a polygon to define where you're going to split. With this, you select a feature that defines where you're going to split.
Okay.
Select this feature, right click, perform split.
Okay.
Ah!
Nope. I think we split that one instead.
Okay, yeah, this happens. I've seen this happen.
Funny thing is that,
yeah, it's.
We split that one there, not that one there.
Let's do it. Just do it again.
Okay.
Perform split. All right, now.
Okay.
And maybe I'll just kind of do a little checking. So maybe it would have been more efficient to just say. Let's try it this way. So select, split by select feature, go. Okay.
Same with that.
I guess same goes here. Hmm.
No.
Split. What's going on here? There.
Don't have to. Yeah, we'd have to select that first, right? Okay.
Split. All right. Perform split. There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right, that seems to be working pretty well.
Okay.
I am. I'm sure if I spend a little time on it, I can find a way to sort of say just split everything where it intersects.
Right.
But honestly, I don't think you'll need to use that all that much. Here, do you want to drive, Keith? And
Yeah, sure.
go ahead and do this one.
All right. All right. Okay, so just go ahead. You can only do one geometry at a time, right? I don't know. We'll try. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
I'll just read.
Yeah, I think what happens under the hood is that
Well, it looks like it performed it. There we go.
Did it do both?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me zoom in there. It's too far out. This is the area of interest. Okay. We'll find out right now. Split this one here. Come on. This mouse is going crazy on me.
All right.
Boom.
All right. Nope.
Nope. Well, then we'll just do it.
Sorry, I just moved your mouse.
Right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right.
Goodbye.
All right. I wonder why it wouldn't do. Hold on. Okay. This one's good. And we'll check the other. We didn't split the primary, right? Well, we split this one here, but not the one further up north. Double check it. Let me double check it. This one should be split. I remember you just did this one here. Let me scroll down. There we go. This is the one.
I'm really not a big fan of that geometry. I really don't like how the state highway system is divided there all the way up to the freeway, but on the other side of the freeway it is not divided, and so only the primary alignment continues on the side.
Yeah, who digitized that way?
Well, the state highway was digitized separately from the ON system, so that's how that wound up that way. As far as who connected the ON system or the all roads to the state highway like that, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's going to have to obviously get fixed because you can't have vehicles falling off the face of the planet, so to speak, or dead. Or actually, they'd never be able to get on, right? Because that would be the beginning of that southbound direction.
A bridge to nowhere.
Yeah. So ultimately, I guess make a note. We need to come back and look at that in the future.
Yeah.
One of 500 get it in the future thing.
Right.
We can address that with the Rams, because I don't know, whatever. We'll decide on it later on. Okay, so yep, there's no more splitting. Looks like everything.
So we got to do the same thing on Cliff.
Cliff?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, are you going to extend like that local street so it splits the secondary geometry properly? See the one you were just highlighting? Upper left corner. See how the local road doesn't cross properly right there? Yeah. Down. Good.
Right here?
Right. See across primary, but not the secondary. So your primary geometry breaks there, but the secondary doesn't, because the local road doesn't interface properly.
Yeah, it shouldn't split, right? So, hold on.
That local road should extend to the secondary geometry, and then the secondary geometry should be split.
When we were talking before, didn't maybe I'm confusing conversations, but I thought that there was supposed to be some effort to look at the connections, and if it's divided like that, because sometimes if there's like a barrier or something, you may not actually be able to turn from one of the alignments onto a local street like that. And in those cases, the local street would just terminate on the one alignment that is accessible to it. Does that sound familiar, Todd?
Turn on the aerial real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would. Let me check the
chances
aerial,
are, I suspect you're correct. I think that what you're going to find is probably that it should go all the way across.
Parkway, so we'll find.
But either way, the geometry needs to be modified, whether it's going to get snipped or extended.
Yeah. Anyway, just something. I mean, that's all over the place, and Chico's supposed to look at that, but.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it right now since we're here.
Yeah, I think,
just on the aerial imagery just to verify that that's what's going on. Yeah, it should. Yeah, in this case, it should run all the way across.
Extend across, yeah.
Because you wouldn't be coming here and then coming down here to go to the secondary carriageway, right? So.
If you're interested, I can show you a little tool for extending something like that.
What's up? Go ahead.
I'm not going to actually do it, but trim and extend, and come on, distance, search 0.005, or whatever.
Extend to intersection.
It's
and run it out until it hits, so you don't have to do a distance.
Yeah, let's see. Well, of course it's not working how I expected it to right now. But the idea is that when you hover over this piece of geometry here, it searches some distance for something to extend to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. And then
right,
it will
just snap, right, or it should extend to that carrot. Yeah.
I might need to reread the documentation on how to do that. I haven't. Extend to intersection. Let's try that. There we go.
There we go. That's the one.
Anyhow, I'm not going to do it because that'll change the length of the geometry, which means of this guy, which means then we have to recalibrate this guy.
Yeah. Okay.
But
that's a good screenshot to send to Chico to have him check out, for the next contract. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna. Are we okay to move on, or?
Yeah. Go ahead. I think there's a bunch of splitting that needs to be done on Cliff still, right?
Right. Okay.
And you know what I would do, Keith? Is update the attribute of LRS routes to Cliff Street and just make that nice and visible so we know what we're working on. That whole dance I did with the spatial query of routes and stuff, let's just call that a failure. You can delete that query.
Cliff? Hold on. Let me. It's Cliff Street, right? This is Cliff. Hold on. Let me grab. Oops. Okay. Oh, we don't need that. What's going on? Okay. I don't even need to see this. As long as you know it's Cliff Street. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in and start splitting stuff. Okay. Double check. Boom.
Man, I think there's a more efficient way to do this.
Yeah, there's gotta be. There's gotta be, because this can drive someone crazy. Right?
Usually I end up doing stuff like this in FME.
Boom. Boom. Okay. Well, it would be nice at least to be able to select multiple, geometries and just, split them according to that,
Yeah, try it.
Everything
Try
at
it
one
again in
time.
this case.
Well, I
Go with
tried
3.
that earlier, but we'll try it again.
Yeah.
Right click. Come on. There we go. Okay, we'll see. Boom. Boom. It worked for this. Wow, this time it worked.
You know what I think?
That's weird. We saw earlier that it didn't work, right? But
I think what happens is, it runs, it does a loop of the operation, and so it isn't like it's operating on one record, because what happens is you it splits one. If when it splits the first split, it takes one record, makes 2, and it only knows that one of those 2 records still needs to be split. And
yeah.
do you see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, we'll try it again this time. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed.
I would suggest that this splitting workflow is something you talk to Intergraph about.
Yeah.
They might.
Worked on this.
Great.
That is just wow. Yeah, that would speed things up, especially for us.
And you know what else would speed it up is if we could easily isolate the routes that touch that are not the segment that you're splitting.
Right. Yeah. Why is this running slow? Okay, there we go. This one probably wouldn't do that. Oh yeah, it did.
Worked.
Wow.
An important thing that I didn't mention is that the window, like right now, it's set up to not ask for new attributes for every new feature.
For what was that?
It's the way Geomedia is set up right now. It's not asking for new attributes for every new feature.
Right. forever.
Hey, Chad, to your question about an estimate. Or maybe he's not there.
Well, it's doing
Everything
fine.
got
Everything got what?
you guys got real quiet all of a sudden.
Oh.
All right, the phone. I heard you. I was on the phone.
Oh, that's all right.
You guys had a question?
Oh, I was just gonna. Oh, that's interesting.
Wow, that's weird how that. You see that?
Yeah, it's not supposed to do that.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Chad, I was just gonna give you a rough estimate for updating the planning document to an as-built.
Okay, yeah, you saw my email.
Yeah. I'm thinking like 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah. So 24 hours.
Okay.
It's weird how this one's.
Excellent. Yeah, I was talking to Mandy on the phone, on my cell phone. So yeah, I think you're good to go to work on that.
Awesome. Okay.
I'll just send a note to Jaime, letting him know.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pretty slow. Okay. We're about halfway through. Oh, actually, we're almost done. All right. This one's good. This one's good. This one's good. Oh, actually,
There'd be a couple
these
of
splits. We're going to do 3 splits. Yeah. So this should be easy, hopefully. Yeah, it's probably good already. I'll double check later. Okay, let me zoom in there. Okay. Looks good, huh? I don't know. I'll double check it. Yep. Yep. All right. All right. So we're done splitting, hopefully.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, because there was no need to split anything on the first one we worked on, and let's do this. Let's finalize the calibration for Cliff, for the primary side of Cliff.
Okay. Let me turn this off.
So I think
we can start from here.
Honestly, I would leave that on. I think it'll make your life easier to leave that on. That's all just primary side, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that way, if you unselect, make not locatable routes,
Mm-hmm.
or make that not locatable. That way, you're not in danger of accidentally selecting the wrong thing.
We can just
So
interactively calibrate from here down, right?
yeah, and before you interactively calibrate, you need to see what's the end measure of that.
Let me grab this. It's gonna have to be this measure because it's 0.125. Is that right, everybody?
Yep.
Okay, just make sure I'm on the right track. So we're gonna have to get in there pretty close.
I think this is going to be easy.
What was that?
This is going to be. You don't have to get close. It's going to trace it for you properly.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because we have the we're using the query to do the tracing, right? So get out of here. Let me turn all these locatable. Actually, these are off. I don't need to worry about that. It's just, this one's off. Okay, so we'll do the, interactive. Before we do that, let me zoom out. Okay, there we go. All right, interactive. So what we're going to do is calibrate LRS routes.
But you need to go with the attribute query.
Yeah,
there you go.
Of LRS routes. There you go. And double check. Always check. Good.
Oh, it reverted to begin measure for your length.
Oh, let me redo it. Come on. Why is it?
You might need to escape out of it or something. Press escape a few times.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Focal length. One. Yep. Okay, let me double check.
Looks good.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm sure it's selected the correct one, but
yeah,
never know. All right. So right click. This thing's slow. And route. Let's give it the measure. It should be 1125. Okay. Select correct. Click try primary. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to check that. Well, it looks like it did the job, but oops.
Just say okay. It's still the interactive calibration is still active, and it thinks you tried
Yeah.
to just select a new one. So it looks like it worked. So escape out. So that works too.
Yeah.
Escape is a way to get back to the select tool.
Okay. I just want to make sure that it did its job. I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
Just check my work. Gosh, pop-up is taking forever. So 547. Yep, looks good. And then for the secondary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. For this one, we're gonna change. We didn't do the attribute query for this one yet, did we? Here, I'll check. No, we didn't. Okay. You know what? Oh, this one's not correct. Okay. I'm just trying to. Oh, let me turn this off. I wanted to select all these, and I split them earlier. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can do LRS key. Okay. LRS key. LRS key. Okay. I think I'm safe to do run a query then. Here you go quick. Wow, it's taking a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stole your mouse again.
It's all right. All right. All right. You know what? This piece here needs to have a key. Yeah. All right. There we go. We didn't have any secondaries over here, right?
Where they all had secondaries, I thought.
No, further down here. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, just double check on one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this one should be 0.001 plus, 0.001 plus. The interactive calibration should set that for us, right? Or is it just the calibration tool? You know how for every break?
I don't think
the calibration should do that, right? Not the interactive.
that's if you want to do it all in one fell swoop, you have to use like bulk calibration.
Okay.
But you can also do it with interactive. You'll just have to do it 3 times.
Okay. We'll give it a shot then. All right. So obviously this is already correct, but always make sure. Oracle length.
You could start at 0 in this case, huh? Yeah.
You know, I might have to zoom in because
if you just get
I probably don't need to.
If you just get rid of the locatability on LRS routes, then you
yeah, I just remember that this one here. I think I turned it on. There you go. Let's measure. Okay. Nine. Okay. Wonder if this works. It should work. 7, 9.
Does that include the gap jump?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember that. Boom.
Excellent.
Suffix. Okay. 764. Okay. And then escape. Do I have to do escape every time, or I don't know? It's probably good practice, right?
If you want to exit the command entirely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I could keep interactive calibration, but run from one geometry to the next, But well, like like select this here.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there, if you do the right combination of button clicks, you can do it. Haven't discovered what the right combination is.
Yeah. Come on, why is this mouse? So it's 14, 7, 6, 4, which plus 0.01 is 5. All right. Double check my work. Oh, come on. See, that's what I like. Again, should always be 0. Make sure my brakes are correct. This thing is slow. 0.179. 0.80. Okay. 14.764. Yeah. Does that look correct?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me check some of the geometries in here. Sure, it's correct. It's just. Yep. All right. Maybe some minor cleanup on the pre and all those stuff, but so far it looks pretty
Yeah.
pretty good. Is that?
So I think. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is update all of these guys to basically update their attributes, and then I think we're done. Oh no, and then then we're done with the all roads part.
Yeah.
Then we go to TSN route segs. So let's get the attributes cleaned up.
Okay.
So the one thing that we can do to all of these things is, oh no, there's Las Positas. Did we ever calibrate Las Positas?
You what?
We did an initial calibration on the southern portion of it, but we didn't. I don't think we have done a full calibration on it yet.
Okay.
All right. Let's check where we're at with Las Positas. Maybe you mind if I drive real quickly?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
It's all yours.
So
that one actually went outside of our what's it called? Spatial filter.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that one wasn't calibrated? Okay.
Yeah, we did an initial calibration on the southern portion.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So but the calibration was meaningless because since we've calibrated, we've split stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
And the calibrations are all messed up now. So let's calibrate Las Positas. And I guess while we're at it, okay, this is gonna begin at, oh, it thinks this is 0. All right, so we got to calibrate the whole dang thing. All right, See how it is.
Did we want to add a new piece of secondary geometry?
I will let you guys decide that.
Well, it's going to have to be done regardless at some point, whether it's now or later.
This is still Las Positas? All right, thank you. And delete that. And that.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to step out real quick.
Yep. All right, there's all of Las Positas. So I think this is as simple as so we can do what Keith just did. Or we can do a bulk calibration. Sort of doesn't, both will have the same net result. Maybe for the purpose of the video, we'll do a bulk calibration.
Okay.
So the way that works is this. All right, so we've got all of the segments that compose the primary portion of Las Positas isolated as a query. So now we just go to the calibration tool. We're going to calibrate attribute query of routes based on these LRS properties, using aura length as our measure field, by compass direction, south to north, west to east, 0.001 mile at gaps. So the nice thing about this, basically, I've told you this before, but maybe it'll be more meaningful now. The basic difference with interactive calibration, it's a way to assign both LRS keys and measures. It tries to automate that as much as it can. With bulk LRS calibration or just calibration, it assumes that you have your LRS keys in place. All you're trying to do is apply measures.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it can make all kinds of, it's able to make more better assumptions. Anyhow, this is it. It's configured. I'm going to let it rip. It's done. Zero to 486. All right. Let's go up here and just verify that it
jumps the gap correctly.
Yeah,
That one should be
691.
That one should be 692. Yep.
And it's noticed, by the way, has an edit TMS. Yeah, there you go. So now we can do the same thing on the other side of the road.
So Los Positos didn't extend across that road, huh?
Yeah, apparently not.
Okay.
It's San Roque.
San Roque. Interesting.
So let's do the secondaries. Same thing. Ooh, careful. All right. Let that rip. Done. This should be 0 to whatever. .513. Blam. Keith, you back?
No, he hasn't come back yet.
Okay. The next thing I want to do is clean up the attributes. And then we'll be done. How about this? Let's just get everything in one query now. So where there we go. Oops. I guess that's everything, right? We already cleaned up this stuff over here.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oh. Oh. Gotta have single quotes around your strings. Okay, for all of these, the route type should be street. Keith's still gone? He knows.
I haven't seen him come back. I haven't seen him come back by yet.
Okay. He knows how to do this. Okay, attribute query of routes. We're just going to set everything to street for route type.
Oh. Down below.
To scroll down. There we go. Honestly, 97% of, maybe more, 99% of all routes are either street or state highway system. Everything else is an edge case. All right. Now, I'll just say that technically, that's all you have to do. Oh, I guess we could have set the county jurisdiction for all those also.
It would be nice to make,
Yeah.
for future users.
Yeah. Okay.
If they're clicking around.
Well, let's do it.
In this case, the county is the same for all of them, so.
Yeah. And the jurisdiction is the same for all of them, right?
Yeah.
I guess we don't.
I think it's all Santa Barbara. Yeah, I think it's all Santa Barbara.
Well, it's easy to find out. If we're gonna add it, let's do it right.
What's going on over there at the edge of Cliff? The street is the boundary. Okay. So what do we do in those cases?
It arbitrarily chose one.
For Cliff?
Yeah. County.
What did it call it? Called it county. So even though pretty much the entirety of the route is within the city of Santa Barbara, because the very beginning of the route straddles the line, it calls the entire route Santa Barbara County. Yeah,
in cases where it straddles the line, it arbitrarily chose one of the two. I argued hard. You may remember this, Chad. I argued hard when we were defining the rules that the rules should be based on some inset, some distance inset from the point of beginning.
Intersection. Yeah, okay.
Just so that you're more likely to capture it. Like imagine it just starts here and just goes this way.
Right.
But they decided to go with a simpler business rule, which I can understand. Simplicity is sometimes good. That we just said, look, we just look at the beginning, and the beginning is the beginning. And if the beginning is ambiguous, then we just arbitrarily pick one. But so anyhow, that's the rule. So in this case, it picked what you might argue is the wrong one, but the computer isn't smart enough to see that. So All right, so let's jump back to so county's not the same, jurisdiction is not the same for them all, but they all have the same county. So let's populate that.
Keith sounds way back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Okay, Keith is back.
Hey, did you see how I did that, Tim? Here.
Yeah.
So all right. So I hit the downward thing, then I pressed S, and I'm just continuing
to press that.
Yeah, press S. Yeah, and that's pretty efficient, I think.
Hi, Dad. Jason's here.
Okay, I'm on the phone, guys. Anyhow, enter. It's pretty nice. All right, I'm going to apply this. I'm worried.
Are we applying? Are we populating the county, the route county, for both? Actually, all three routes.
Yeah.
Routes?
Yeah,
okay.
They're all the same.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And just for your information, I already populated route type.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In theory, I could have done them both at the same time because they're all the same.
Right. Right.
All right. Is there anything else that's all the same? I guess not. Let's focus on Cliff. So I'm taking Las Positas out. So I'm looking at both primary and secondary of Cliff. Populate route county. Which, as Tim and I discovered for that guy, it's I'm sorry, not route county, route jurisdiction.
Next.
Is
different jurisdiction, right?
Is CO.
Okay. County.
COU, there we go. And I suppose in all those cases, it's also Las Positas. Is it street? Do you remember?
I thought it was avenue, but I could be wrong.
All right, let's call it Ave. We can change it if we need to. No, it's Cliff. We're working on Cliff.
Oh yeah. Well, if we're working on Cliff, yeah. I actually don't remember what Cliff is. If it's street or
all right,
avenue, way, trace, circle.
Who knows? Cliff Drive. All right. And county blah, 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 jurisdiction is county unincorporated. And you know what? I'm just going to call them all primary carriage for this moment. Then I'll go and fix the secondaries. All right. So I'm selecting these, holding the shift button. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Locatable these off, so I'm only selecting attribute query of. It's just easier. Okay, this time I'm going to use select set. Yeah. And carriage flag, secondary, apply. All right, done with Cliff. Now focus on Las Positas. Yeah. Let's see what's next. Jurisdiction. I'm just hammering through this real fast, guys. If you need me to slow down or explain, just speak up. Jurisdiction is going to be Santa Barbara. We've already set county. Oh, and do you guys, Las Positas? Tell me somebody.
I thought it was Avenue. That's what you're asking.
Let's check. Oh, well. It's fun while it lasted.
Road.
Just road. All right.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would have been wrong too. When you enter a string value in this update attributes thing, it has to be in single quotes. I'm going to just say everything's a primary and just set the secondaries manually.
Oh, would you query out just the whole route, both alignments?
Yeah, right now it's going to get applied to both alignments. All right, here we go. All right, and I think the only thing we have to do now is, oh, we didn't get jurisdiction. Okay, well, we'll have to do that too. But let's set these to secondary, where they are secondary. All right. And then the last thing was jurisdiction, which I should have gotten in an earlier update attributes, but I'll get it now. Okay. I think we're done. It's a Christmas miracle, guys.
Christmas miracle.
Yeah. So I hope I think it's clear, but I just want to say that I hope it's clear anyway that all of that attribute cleanup at the end was wasn't 100% necessary. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how your thoughts about whether it's worth keeping that stuff evolves in over time, because this information can always be parsed from here. But going through that exercise makes me wonder if the value of having all this stuff is worth the overhead of having to maintain it.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, who determines those, you know? Because for us, do we and should we populate it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure, you know, HPMS, functional class, you know, I don't know, you know.
Nobody has these
attributes.
No,
yeah,
the attributes only exist in the routes layer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because we can populate it, but you know, we can be off. It might be, you know, Hammer Street, and HPMS says, you know what, that's Del Paso Road. You know, I mean, whatever, you know. But I mean, we can pre-populate, at least have an LRS key, you know, or something.
Yeah.
Because we can parse it out later, you know.
Yeah. All that matters is that you have an LRS key and measures.
Yeah, something they can reference off, you know, or try to dissect stuff on, but.
Yeah.
You know,
I suppose what I imagined in terms of workflow when I mean, part of it is just that, like, this is sort of like what we did in the course of the data development phase for GIC. So my head was kind of partially there, but there's also like, what I imagined is like, okay, you're going to draw a new route and then you're going to attribute that route with its street name.
Right.
And the jurisdiction that it starts in. And then from that, we'll magically create the LRS key. Mm-hmm. And it does, I think it's a fair question to ask whether that's even important. I'm not sure it is. I mean,
yeah, because I mean, we'll have to have a conversation with either HPMS or functional class or whoever,
No,
we can.
don't have to talk to them about that. All that matters for them is that this is there. Like, look at those event tables. They don't have all this stuff. All they have is an LRS key.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
you don't have to talk to them about any of this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm just thinking long term, long term is, just a complete data set,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess we can, we can decide,
Yeah.
Amongst our group, hey, is it even, should we even fill in these attributes,
Yeah.
I mean, they're beneficial in creating an ID, but we can reverse it and say, we have an LS key, we can just, parse it out,
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
And just given the way the GeoMedia tools work, I can, it just makes me think, man, you've already got a way to populate the LRS key pretty easily with the interactive calibration.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, why even? Yeah. Anyhow, I'm happy to help in that discussion if you want me to.
Yeah. It's something worth. It's going to be maintenance wise. I see the over. The overhead is going to be, oh my goodness. So.
All right.
At least on those routes that are going to require that level of change. I'm not. The only time that we're going to probably be putting in that level of detail, I guess, is when we are adding a new route, which I guess you're going to have to put that in anyway to generate the LRS key, right? Because isn't the LRS key generated off of all that data initially?
Yeah.
Well, yes, that was certainly my vision, but I mean, as I'm working with the interactive calibration with you guys,
you can tell. Yeah.
I'm realizing, like, dude, okay, so you type in the LRS key once, and then you can make it apply across a long swath of segments.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
And you don't need to populate all the fields to build an LRS key because you can,
Yeah.
It's already there, and we can talk a little bit more on that. I mean, it's useful if someone wants to look at a jump, a line work or something, and just get, it's in this jurisdiction and this county, blah blah blah. But in our case, we just need an LRS key so people can map on top of that.
Yeah.
All the other business data really, do our customers need it, and if we don't have it, well, does it bother them? I don't know. I mean, it's a question we can talk about because that's a lot more data that we'll have to maintain, moving forward.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And it changes. I don't know. Yeah, something to think about because, like the interactive calibration pretty much shows us what we, as the GIS, maintainers, the LRS maintainers, what we need to do. So to me, that's fine with that. I'm fine with that. But yeah.
Are you still on the line, Chad?
Yep.
Do you have an opinion?
I think before doing anything, we just need to think about reporting, like all the ways we would want to report and slice dice it, and just make sure that dropping that isn't going to cause us headaches later on. And then I realized parse it out, so it's not like
it's gone.
That's what I say. We can probably discuss a little bit with the whoever's going to look at the data and care about, the pre or the street name and the suffix. I mean, to us, is the LRS key is key for us. So. But
we
I don't know.
Functional attribute queries one time and save them that parses it out, and then if someone wants, put it in there. But anyway, like I say, it's always easier to concatenate than it is to break it apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, I that's my only thought was just I want to think about how are all the ways we're going to query and slice and dice the data, but again, can still break it up. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to use the data, but I'm sure a lot of folks will, but I'm just thinking long term. I'm sure someone's going to look at this data and say, this is the street name, but they don't care about an LRS key, right? Or whatever, or they might care the other way around, just LRS key, but not the attribute stuff.
The problem is too is that county and stuff is the county of the origin of the.
Yeah.
More people are probably going to want the county the segment of the route is in.
Yeah.
So it has less value in that regard.
Yeah. So
Which
I don't know.
Polygons and spatial filter.
Yeah.
Chad, did you ever look at that ownership workflow? It was the workflow in which I use ownership as an example for HPMS staff to know how to clip events from route data based on a polygon overlay, like the jurisdictions layer, except in that workflow, I happen to be using the ownership layer.
I saved it and I've opened it and went tab, 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 and that's as far as I've gotten.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I keep thinking about, actually I opened it up earlier this week, but yeah, I haven't really given it its due, that's for sure.
Okay. All right, let's get these TSN route segs done, and I think that we'll be done at that point. I just wonder if, Tim, we went through the exercise many months ago now of populating the TSN route segs.
Yeah.
And editing this stuff. And then, of course, the underlying routes got replaced, but the events on top look like they may still be valid.
Looks like they did what? Oh, survived?
Yeah. So, all right. Locatable. I guess we have to look at the whole sequence listing.
Yeah, it looks like where we sliced it this time is slightly different from where we sliced it last time, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
So it looks like there might be some consistency that needs to happen where we go in and change the measures.
Oh, right. I see. So yeah. So there's that and there's that.
Ellen's running, further than the other. You see that?
Yeah, we just need to go in and change the measures.
Let's do that. So yeah, all we need to do is.
Yeah, it's like they're overlapping or what.
Find out what the end measure is of that segment, and then change it. .72. And then boom, the primary alignment should be done. Assuming it ends at 164, it may not end at 164 anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Does anything come up on the status or whatever?
No? Yeah, that's right.
No, there we go. Oh my goodness.
You guys are getting good at this stuff. All right, locatable off. It's the end of this, 0.16. Snap.
There we go.
All right, primary's done.
Or the right alignment is done.
Okay. Right. I was just converting. The right alignment is considered the primary alignment of the state highway system. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
I say the LRS key says secondary. That's what I was referring to.
All right, this looks absolutely wrong.
Well, here's a problem that I'm noticing. It's looking like there are 3 segments.
Looks like they're open.
Too.
I don't know.
There are 2. There's basically one that's kind of between the freeway and the first segment.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Were there? Yeah, and then the one right above it. That and that. I'm not sure why there are 2 segments there. Oh, because you have it splitting where the state highway intersects itself. You mentioned that before. Were there 3 segments also on the right alignment? Because I only recall seeing 2 records.
There should be 2
already. I don't see 3 segments here. I only see
1,
2,
and then the third one is on the other side of the brake.
No, it's not there.
It's not, because that's primary only. There's only one geometry.
Oh.
No, well, yeah, but there's still a left alignment here.
Exactly.
So these are just landing in the wrong places.
Okay. Then we'll just change the measures, and it should move.
All right. So I guess is there a is there a way for us to know or assume which is which? So,
well, I would say the 0, the one with the 0 odometer, which is your first one there,
starts here and
the
ends
one
there.
where that's where it should, yeah.
Okay. All right. Locatable on. No, dang it. Locatable off. And you know what?
When is GeoMedia putting in voice commands where we can go locatable on?
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea. 066. All right.
665. 065.
Okay, and this is going to be 0.067.
Right.
Oh no, that's not right. That's not right because
No.
this is going primary.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it'll be whatever the
It
primary
is
measure was.
Okay, don't be confused. Well, okay, be confused, but locatable on. All right.
There we go.
Oh, that's weird. It's still 0 to 164. Yeah.
0.165. Actually.
All right, it's done. It's working.
Well, that's because that's what it says in the table.
Yeah.
That's why it's that. What's the all roads measure for that location? Which interestingly, it's interesting to me that the all roads doesn't seem to go the whole way.
073 to 073 to 16.
Oh, 16. Okay.
So, all right, so 0 to 16.
Actually, it's gonna be reversed though. It's gonna be 0.16 to 073.
Okay, I'll take
the all roads is running the opposite direction here. You know what I'm saying?
I do. All right. No more status 1. Low. course, these lat longs are wrong now too.
Yeah, we can.
Probably. We'll probably have to recalculate like we did earlier.
Yeah. You guys have the video on how to do that.
We do.
Cool. Whew. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm good for today.
Good.
Right.
Maybe on Monday I'll come up with more things to talk about.
Okay. That's cool. I would say that I would suggest as the next step is to re-familiarize yourself with the GeoMedia to ArcGIS export workflow. And,
yeah,
and load to GeoTest.
Yep.
I was looking, by the way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know that there's a written document for the whole thing, and we built you a special tool, ArcGIS tool, and I am guessing I went through that on a video that's up on Basecamp somewhere. But I think we made a decision today, too, that there might be a small change to the workflow to sort of hard calculate the route RTE GeomID.
Yeah.
Route GeomID.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to revisit that and then, decide what we're going to have, or where to add that or how to move forward with it. Yeah.
Well, I guess at a minimum, the next thing to do is just to re-familiarize yourself with that export workflow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what I was going to say, if I can remember what I was going to say.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, probably. That's a good thing to say, I think.
But
yeah,
I don't
remember.
I think it showed a lot. Today's demo showed a lot of good stuff. Like things we'll be doing.
Right.
So. Yep.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. We'll touch on more stuff. And